Hello, guitar players and music learners. Alex here with stepbystepmusic.com. In today's guitar lesson, we are going to be looking at the major and minor scales. We're going to be looking at those from each of them from two perspectives. So you've got the major scale, you've got the minor scale. We're going to learn each of those in their normal, traditional patterns. I'm going to call that the primary pattern because if you've learned them before, that's most likely what you've learned. We're also going to look at what I call the secondary pattern. So it's an additional pattern that if we find ourselves in a different area of the guitar or on a specific finger, on a specific note, needing to go up and down that scale in a different way, then we are prepared to do so. So that's, again, major and minor scale, both of them in two different ways. And that's going to give us 4 scale patterns total. I am also going to be introducing you to the elusive position shift. So sometimes we don't have to make a full position change, moving our hands up and down the guitar neck. We can do it in a little bit more efficient way and shift ourselves to where we need to be. So we'll see that in the secondary pattern of the major scale. Okay, let's get into it. So I'll be sticking to my lower 4 strings, lower meaning my thickest 4 strings. I'm not going to be going to the B string and the E string today because, as you probably know, once we get past going from the G string over to the B string, things get weird. The tuning is not the same between these 2 strings here. And so we're not going to learn patterns across those strings just yet. If you're new to scales and new to scale patterns, or if these patterns are new to you, I suggest that you learn these patterns really, really well, and then we will go over how to carry them across the B string, so that when you do cross that B string, we will be thinking of those patterns as just the same pattern, but in a little bit different way. We'll be making adjustments to those patterns, and it won't be like we're learning all these brand new patterns for just one scale. So here we go. The major scale on using the first 4 strings. Now I'm only going to use the 3 strings for this scale. This is my primary pattern, the one that we are most likely to have learned already, or the one that we usually learn first. It will start with my second finger. I'm going to be on A today, my 5th fret. So if you're joining me on your guitar, we'll be starting off on the 5th fret for each of these on the low E string. Guitar players love to play the A scale. I don't know why, but that's where we tend to gravitate towards. The primary pattern again takes 3 strings to complete and starts with the second finger. So I will be taking you through this using my fingering numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we'll talk about scale degrees, which is the number that you're at in the scale. So 2 different ways to sort of keep track of these patterns, 2 different ways to think about them. So major scale, starting on A, second finger, 5th fret of your low E string, finger 2. Okay, I'm going to add finger 4 to that string. That's my next note. Next string, gonna move up to the A string here, and using finger 1. Then I'm gonna add finger 2, and then adding finger 4. Okay, let's just go over what we have so far. Starting on A again, 5th fret, finger 2, finger 4, finger 1, finger 2, finger 4. Okay, the next string to finish the pattern is finger 1, finger 3 this time, and finger 4. Okay, let's do that again from the bottom. Finger 2, finger 4, finger 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, and 4. All right, excellent. So that is our major scale. I'm going to go ahead and give us a 4 count. We're going to practice that going up and back. When you practice your scales, you want to make sure you go up and back. In fact, we always start from the bottom, but it's good to start from the top about half the time as well. But for right now, for today, we're just going to ascend the scale first and then descend the scale. So again, going up and back one last time together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, and back. 4, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2. Okay. If you are new to the major scale, something else I want you to start thinking about as you become more comfortable with it is the scale degree, so the numbers of the scale. And if you already know the scale, then this is something that I want you to push forward with as soon as you possibly can. The numbers of the major scale is how everything is defined in music, so they're very, very, very crucial to us understanding, crafting, and pretty much anything that we talk about in music, any numbers that we use is going to be referenced from this major scale. So, and we'll see that a little bit when we go into the minor scale as well. So this is pretty much right now for today's lesson. It's as simple as just counting up. So scale degree 1 is first note, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, when we get to 8, this note should always be the same as 1, meaning that I started on the note A, I'm ending on the note A. If number 8 is not the same as 1, then we've done something wrong, okay? We're going to go ahead and go back down. That's 8 to 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, that's it. So I'm gonna play this one more time, and then I'm gonna play this showing you the next pattern that we're gonna play. When I say pattern, I mean the finger numbers that we're using and the location of the frets that we're using. We can think of it as the shape on the guitar, or again, we could think of it as the word pattern. But the notes are the same. It's the exact same scale. On a piano, for example, you can play a scale kind of one way. There's only one location for each note. On guitar, that's not the case. You have these notes in multiple locations. So we have the burden and the privilege of learning these in multiple ways. So here's that scale again. Just listen this time and hear how when I play it again, it looks completely different, but it's going to sound the same. Okay, that's my A major scale. Here it goes again, secondary pattern. Sounds the same. It sounds exactly the same, but they look completely different. And again, this allows us to prepare ourselves to play this scale in multiple locations under multiple circumstances. So let's take a look at the secondary pattern. The secondary pattern is going to start with finger 4, and it will take 4 strings to complete. Our primary pattern starts with finger 2, takes only 3 strings. This one we're going to take a full 4 strings. We're going to go all the way out to the G string here. So here we go. Using finger numbers first. Play along with me if you'd like. We have 5th fret, low E string, finger 4. Okay, we're immediately going to change strings. Finger 1 on the next string. Then we're going to add finger 3, finger 4. Okay, next string, finger 1. Now, I don't know if you noticed this when I was playing, but this is where a little trick comes in. This is where that position shift comes in. I need to get to this note, okay? But I have a problem. My first finger is here, and in order to get to this note, I have to do a position change. I have to pick up and move and change positions. Now, that's fine. I don't want you to feel like that you need to design your whole playing, your whole song, your whole melody, whatever you're doing around not doing a position change. We want to be comfortable taking those position changes. We take it on and we do it, right? We don't have any problem doing a position change. But sometimes there's a better way or a different way, depending on the situation. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing here to shift my position by closing my fingers down into a closed position and then expanding them going in the other way. Okay, here's what I mean. Let's go into that scale again, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's crawl ourselves up there. We're on finger 4 on the A string. Next string, finger 1, finger 3, finger 4. Okay, next string, finger 1. Now right here, I'm covering 4 frets, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, I call that an open position. It's our standard regular position. But I can scooch this down, and this is something you see bass players do a lot. I can scrunch this down, kind of like an inchworm scrunching up, and I can cover only 3 frets with those same 4 fingers. Okay, so after I play my first finger here, I'm going to play my 4th finger here, but not out here. I'm gonna pull it in and play it on the 4th fret in this case. Then I am free to move that position back into an open position, but in the opposite direction. Use finger 1 and then I close off the scale with finger 2. And that is my 8th note. That is the A again, and we have completed the scale. Let's take a look at that again so you can play along. Again, finger 4, 5th fret, A string, go. 1st finger, next string, 3rd finger, 4th finger, next string again, 1st finger, scrunch down into a closed position, 4th finger, 4th fret in this case, inchworm back the other way, 1st finger on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret. Okay, simple as that. I'm going to go back down now. So exact opposite of what I was doing. 2nd finger, 1st finger, reaching out, 4th finger, 4th fret, okay? We're going to scrunch this way this time, okay? Have a closed position, only covering these 3 frets. 1st finger, going to move out to my 4th finger, next string, 3rd finger, 2nd finger, and then again changing strings one last time, 4th finger. That's it. That is the major scale in my, I call it my secondary pattern. So the primary pattern is the one that we probably learn first. Probably our go-to because it's a little bit more comfortable, but we've got an additional pattern. There's lots of patterns we could do, but this is my additional go-to pattern, starting on a different finger and taking up a little bit more strings in order to do it. So let's go through that one more time. I'm going to talk about scale degrees this time to sort of match it up with the other scale and sort of realize where all those numbers are now. So scale degree 1 with my 4th finger. 1st finger gets scale degree 2, scale degree 3, half step, 1 fret to scale degree 4, scale degree 5, next string, scale degree 6, that's where I'm going to scrunch up, close position, move back the other way, scale degree 7, and 8, which is the same as 1. Okay, going back, 8, 7, reaching out for 6, scrunching back into a closed position for 5, moving back out for 4, half step down to 3, down to 2, 4th finger hits scale degree 1, which is our low A, and we're back. Okay, 2 patterns. I'm going to go ahead and count this off so we can play it in time, just to have another play along, another little practice here. Here we go. Major scale, secondary pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. That's your scale. Well done. And if you're having any trouble with that, just slow it down. Take one piece at a time. Maybe learn the first couple of strings on any given scale. Maybe just start with the 1 scale, the primary pattern, then move on to the secondary pattern. Don't try to bite off too much. Meet yourself where you are at and move slowly and patiently from there. Okay, we're going to do one more scale today. That's going to be the minor scale, the natural minor scale, if you want to be really super technical about it. So the minor scale is going to differ from the major scale. Some of the scale degrees will be moved, and that's always, again, in comparison to the major scale. We're not going to get real heavy into that today, but as you start learning how to build chords and understanding other modes and melodies and analysis and all that stuff, becomes very important that we're really clear on what scale we're referencing. And again, that should always be the major scale. So when I play this scale, 1, 2, flat 3, you'll hear me say flat 3, and that's in comparison to the major scale. If that's weird to you right now, don't even worry about it. Just focus on the pattern and the fingering, and that will get you where you need to go for today. Okay, so here's my minor scale. I'll speak in fingering first, and we'll run through it again in scale degrees. So same spot, we're gonna play A minor. So starting on the 5th fret, low E string, finger 1. Then finger 3, finger 4. Next string, same thing. Finger 1, finger 3, finger 4. Okay, next string, same thing, but not for as long. Finger 1, finger 3. Don't keep going. This note's wrong. Okay, so we're gonna end right there in this scale. So, and again, that is the top of our scale. That's number 8, or our octave. It's the same note that we started on, but 1 octave higher. Okay, so let's do it again. I'm going to speak in scale degrees this time so that we just, again, match those up to the major scale and start getting used to that. This is 1, scale degree 1, 2, scale degree flat 3. So compared to a major scale, this is lower than the other note would have been. Scale degree 4, 5, flat 6. So again, compared to major scale, it's just 1 fret down from where that would have been. Flat 7, and then there's our 8. Okay, going back, 8, flat 7, 6, 5, 4, flat 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's run up and back in time just once so we can have a little practice, a little play along for you. And I'll count to 4. We're going to go up the minor scale and back. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you have it. Okay, that is our minor scale. This pattern, I again call the primary pattern. If you've learned this scale before, you're likely to have learned this version of it. Or if you are asked to play it, you're likely to play that version of it. However, I don't want to have just one version of things. I want to have multiple ways to attack any scale, any chord, anything, anytime. Makes me a more versatile, more capable player. Okay, so we're going to start again on finger 4, just like we did for the major scale. This one, we're not going to have the position shift, so it's a little bit easier. Not going to have to deal with that sort of inchworm quality we had in the major scale. So finger 4, starting off in the same place we had before with major. Next string, we're going to do finger 1. Okay, here's our flat 3. This is where we can really see the difference. That's finger 2. Okay, finger 4. Finger 1, finger 2 again, finger 4, and then over one more time to finger 1. Okay, let's do that up again one more time. We'll go up and back. 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1. Going back. 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4. Let's do the scale degrees as well, up and back, just looking at the scale degrees, just starting to get some awareness about those and realize where those numbers are at. Like I said, if this is strange to you, don't worry too much about it. Just focus on the numbers of the fingers and the pattern of the scale. And when that is more secure in your brain and in your fingers, you can move on to start studying scale degrees. Here we go. Scale degree 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 8. Going back, 8, flat 7, flat 6, 5, 4, flat 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Now that we've done that, let's go ahead and get a play along. It's our last play along for the day. And I'm going to count to 4. We're going to go up and back in time. And that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. So, a couple things you might have noticed. The secondary patterns all started on finger 4. That was consistent. Although the major scale, we had to do that inchworm thing to get ourselves back here. Again, I call that the position shift. Major scales. This is a very, very easy and important thing to memorize to kind of get you started off on the right foot, distinguishing between major and minor scales. Major scales tend to start with the second finger. Okay? Minor scales tend to start with the first finger. So if you remember that, that'll sort of set you up into which one is which. Remember, we learned 2 scales today. So 2 different sounds, 2 different sets of notes, but we learned 4 total patterns. So if this is new for you, focus on one thing at a time. And I would probably focus on just the primary patterns. Learn your major scale really well. Learn the primary pattern. Go slow, use good technique, Don't rush through it. Make sure everything looks good, sounds good. Then learn your minor scale, primary pattern, right? The one that takes only 3 strings, starting on finger 1 here. Learn that really well. And then once you're comfortable with those, go ahead and move yourself forward into the secondary patterns. That's all I have for you today. That is your lesson on scales for guitar. If you have questions or need to reach out to me for lessons, I am available at stepbystepmusic.com. And I thank you for being here today. Bye-bye. Coffee.